Alright, today on Free Field Training, we're taking a look at an entry-level tactical backpack, like an entry-level tactical day pack from Highland Tactical. This is the major. Now, Highland Tactical sent this to me for review in July, and I used it over the summer. I took it to Cub Scout camp. I took it on a bunch of hiking trips. I even tried to use it as a duty bag at work for a while to give you guys good insight into some of the positives and the negatives of the major and of this level of backpack that Highland Tactical is creating. Now, to get it right out of the way up front, this backpack runs about $60 on their website. You can find it a little cheaper at different places online. I'll put a link down in the description of the cheapest price that I can find for it. At that price, what we're comparing it to is the utility of a normal school backpack. Most normal school backpacks at the high end now are running in the $50 to $60 range, which is where you can get into this. And that's why I call it an entry-level tactical backpack. So let's take a look at some of the features here. The bag's fairly large. It's about 19 inches tall. It gets about 1.5 feet in width. And it's about 15 inches wide. To cinch all this down and make it more user-friendly, because of course if you've got this just flopping around, you're going to have a lot of gear pushing away from your body if you don't have a whole lot in this. It comes with cinch downs with fast X buckles. So instead of it being 1.5 feet wide, you can cinch it down and suck it really close to your body. It's very helpful with a Camelback backpack inside, which is what I have in here right now, so that the water in the Camelback doesn't push out and then lean you backward, especially if you're hiking up and downhill. It's got 3 brad handles on the outside, which are stitched down fairly well. I've been using these with this full, and they have not fallen apart on me. Speaking of the Camelback, there's a pass-through on the top with elastic, a little Velcro patch underneath so that you can run the hose for a water bladder out, and there's attachment points on the front where you can run your water hose through. There's a lot of little areas you can stick things onto these shoulder straps. On the top of the outside of the bag is a pocket with 1 extra internal pocket and some elastic on the inside to be able to attach things. This is a perfect place to put medical gear. I just left a tourniquet and a pressure dressing in here. I've been using this to take the Cub Scouts out hiking, and I normally put my separate first aid kit in here. Just happens to be another bag at this time. On the lower section, there's an external pocket with no other internal mesh or elastic or anything like that. I got my lighter in here right now. Forgot that in there. And then the pocket closest to the main pocket of the bag is this large external pocket that's good for keeping small items that you want to have access to, be able to sling this off your back and get to them pretty quick. So in here, I've got a spare holster and my gloves and some spare batteries and an FRS radio. You got a couple of pens. There's an area in here that you can keep a notepad in, some extra batteries at the bottom. I'm always running out of batteries for the stuff that I need, so I keep rechargeables with quick access, and I keep the non-rechargeables in here, so that way I know even if all my rechargeables go bad, which, you know, rechargeables lose charge over time, I've got alkaline or lithium ion replacements in the bag. You notice all the zipper pulls on this have long 550 cord extensions on them, so they're easy to find, easy to get to. The MOLLE webbing on the outside, you've got a bunch of rows of MOLLE webbing on this outside, but since this is an entry-level bag, be aware, not all of these are MOLLE specs. So some of them, like this one here, are a little oversized, and if you look at the top pocket of this pack, some of them are a little undersized. That's kind of something that you should come to expect at this price point in the backpack market, or in any nylon gear that's at the entry-level tier, is that you can't anticipate that, oh, I'm going to fit, you know, 3 mag pouches across the top of this because I see how many rows are here. That's not a thing at this level. You have to go up to a significantly higher tier of backpack, pay a lot more money before you can get that. So I'll point out some of those as we go along the way. There's a morale patch spot up here with loop side Velcro, I've just got a Safe Life Defense morale patch on there to remind me where I put the panel. So normally if I put the panel in a backpack, I'll throw that on the front. It came with the backpack panel from Safe Life Defense. Now, digging further down into the bag, there's a large, fully openable space in here. You can see there's nothing to hold more stuff in here, but there's a large panel space in here. If you wanted to put a backpack panel further to the outside of the bag, I suggest you keep any type of Armour panel as close as possible to your body. If you want to do that, this is a good spot for it. It's large enough to fit books, notepads, things like that in here. Flat items, because there's not a lot of space to this pouch. Now moving further into the bag is your main compartment, which again zips all the way to the bottom. And in order to access it, you have to take all the compression straps off. And in here there's a mesh pocket on one side. Keep my frog togs in here, my rain gear. The main compartment I'm using to hold my Camelback, there's actually attachments for a Camelback or other hydration pouch at the top here. They're just little Velcro attachments, they're nothing special, but they do seem to do the job fairly well, as long as either the Camelback pouch reaches the bottom of the bag or it's not too heavy. And this little Camelback Junior that I use when I'm hiking with the kids, normally pretty effective. I'm not going 20-30 miles anymore. Good 5-mile hike or 4-mile hike, I can keep this on me, and it's definitely got enough space for that, but it will fit the full size, the larger Camelback packs. Underneath that, I've got a backpack Armour panel, and here you can really see the size of this pack, how much space there is inside. This is the backpack Armour panel from Safe Life Defense inside of this bag. So the one disadvantage of this is you may actually have to, if you want to keep this high up on your back, you may actually have to shim this higher to stick something underneath. Maybe roll up a t-shirt or roll your jacket up and fit it at the bottom of the Armour panel in order to keep this higher up on your body. But it definitely fits inside, no problem. This little pouch area in here would also be good for a fairly large laptop or for a larger Camelback in order to keep it close to your body so it doesn't do that sticking out thing where you're tilting backward. From here you can see the inside area of the hydration pass-through right there. This came with a very small slit in it. I actually had to take scissors and cut it further open. It's not a big deal, but it's a little quality control thing that you may want to know about. We're going to get to a couple of those as we go through the review. So the straps on the front of the pack are fairly wide, they're fairly well padded, and there are a bunch of attachment points. I used a Grimlock over here in order to attach a flashlight. I've got a Terralux pouch that I had sitting in my garage, and my Nikkor SRT7 flashlight. This is my favorite one for doing outdoor stuff. Attached to the outside, it's a fairly large 18650 battery flashlight. You can attach fairly easily on here. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ways that you can attach flashlights onto the front of it, but there isn't MOLLE webbing on these packs. Here, I'll show you the other side because these are identical. There's no MOLLE webbing on here. You have to find a way to attach things to it. So you could run, if you have like this where there's a Velcro flap that you could attach to a belt, you could run it through there and then Grimlock it underneath. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. This is just the way that I ended up doing it because it set it low enough on me that I could get the flashlight in and out easily, and it's in the same spot that I keep my flashlight at work, which is nice. Same thing with attaching hydration. I just ran it through this D-ring, seems to work fairly well. Some of these you can get clips and attach them onto various things, or you could take a piece of one wrap and run it through one of these straps and one wrap it on. One quality control issue that you have to look at with these bags, I actually busted a seam after a couple months of using this. Again, I've had this since July and it's October now as I'm shooting this, and some of the stitching came out of here and it's starting to bust loose. Is that a huge thing at this price point? I know it's not a huge thing, but it's definitely something we'd prefer not be happening when we buy a new backpack. I think everybody would agree. So what do you lose when you go to a $60 backpack instead of spending $120 on it? Well, you lose some of, like I said, some of the MOLLE spec on here. These are obviously too small of MOLLE webbing loops in order to actually attach something to, so you can't always count on all of the MOLLE. You've got some quality control issues. I mean, obviously this is easily enough fixed, but that's the type of stitching issues that you can get in some of the single stitch places. However, the grab handles are all stitched down really well. I've been actually using these to carry the bag around, haven't had any problems with them. You don't get any type of reinforcement on the backing. So this backpack doesn't have a reinforced back. Some of this resistance you're seeing from this is actually because of the Armour panel in here. Without the Armour panel in it, here, we'll pull it out and show you. Without an Armour panel in this bag, there's very little that keeps it stiff. So even though the back is mesh lined and the shoulder straps are mesh lined, it's going to conform more to your back, which might make you a little warmer. That's something that you lose when you go to the entry level of tactical backpacks. But what do you get? You get a lot of storage space, you get a lot of modularity, you get good grab handles that can actually carry the thing around. You can just carry it around by this grab handle. You've got plenty there. You lose some attachment with the inside shoulder straps. Let me show you guys that from the inside. These shoulder straps are attached just through this seam like a normal backpack, something you would buy anywhere else. It's a normal consumer backpack. It's run through the seam and there's a line of stitching across it, and that's all that's attaching the straps to the pack. It hasn't been a problem for me yet in the 4 months that I've used it, but it's something to know. These straps aren't like run in here and then double box stitched, and they're not part of the top of the pack or part of the back of the pack. They're just stitched into place like that. But you do get lots of storage space. You get cinching down straps to keep it more conformal to your backpack, to your back. You normally wouldn't get that with a consumer backpack. You get it in a variety of tactical colors. I took gray because I think it would look best on camera. I think you all agree. It's easier to see the features in gray. They also come in black and green, tan, and those types of colors. You get a spot to put morale patches. You get lots of loop where you could attach things like battery holders. This one's from Therm here, and other stuff, you know, carabiners and flashlights and things to the outside of the pack, which you normally wouldn't get on a consumer backpack. So that is the Highland Tactical Major, the pluses and minuses, and what you can expect if you buy one of these backpacks. If you have any comments or concerns or questions, throw them down in the comment section below. If I can, I'll try to answer them for you. Till next week, you guys be safe. Take care of each other. Hey, thanks for watching Free Field Training on YouTube. While you're here, check out one of our other videos, or head on over to the Patreon and see how you can get your name put on your videos like these fine folks over here. All the links are in the description, of course. We'll see you guys next time.